We are shit at being humans right now. We can't stand each other. That's author and professor of practice management, Brené Brown, talking about a social problem that she says is destroying our workplace culture. I'm Brad, founder and first student of human training, and today I want to talk about fear-based versus human-based leadership. So Brown specifically points to Jack Welch's so-called rank and yank system as a cause of workplace cultural decay. This model slots employees into three ranks and cuts the bottom 10% every year. And many critics have noted this system creates fear rather than motivating excellence. In practice, it encourages ruthless competition amongst colleagues rather than collective competition against other businesses. Or as one executive puts it, threaten your employees with silly things like rank and yank, and they'll become less productive, less engaged, less innovative, and less creative. Exactly the opposite of what you want. So Brown says our brains cannot survive on constant fear and anxiety. If you follow the news at all right now, you know how this feels, and probably also feels this way at work. We either adapt to this fear in self-protective ways that diminish us, or we rebel against it. If you're a leader, what goes in its place? You can't replace fear-based leadership with just the absence of fear, nor is it as simple as focusing on incentives rather than costs, the carrot rather than the stick. Instead, as Brown has been arguing for over a decade now, modern leaders need to learn vulnerability, authenticity, and emotional intelligence. Or, as I say, we need to become more human at work, more deeply human, as Brown puts it. So we need to stop seeing people as problems for productivity, start seeing them as essential relationships that help us all thrive. Of course, as Brown says, there's a lot of fear going around, and the fact of the matter is that we're actually losing our ability to be in IRL relationships with one another. So the most important thing you can do is to do the work yourself. You have to become and then model the kind of person you want each of your team to be in the workplace. Become more human in your relationships, you'll become more human at work. The trick is this work can't be done by downloading something, watching a video, or learning a system. You have to get in the reps. You do the work by doing the work. So how do you do that? There's three things I think you can start just today and make short, medium, and long-term progress on this. First, you can sit down with someone at work, someone on your team. Ask them, what do you find meaningful in your work? What do you find frustrating? They'll tell you and you'll learn what makes them feel engaged right now, if anything. And then what is it they want from their work? What maybe they're not getting? Don't try to solve their frustration just yet, unless it's an easy fix. Instead, just listen and respond honestly. Admit if something surprises you or if you don't know what to do about something. Confess if you realize you're contributing to their frustrations. Tell them something you learned about them from the conversation. Second, you can make a plan to have these conversations with everyone on your team. Schedule the meetings so they actually happen, and then leave time after each meeting for reflection and actually write down what did you learn about that person, about their role, about what's meaningful to them. What might you be able to do about that? How does that affect the way you think about them and how you think about what your role is? And then third, find some non-work space where you can get in some reps. By non-work, I mean some space where your job doesn't depend on participation. This could be something at work, like a voluntary group or club or something, but it shouldn't be directly related to your role. It should be something more like a book group, a club, religious small groups, even family dinner. At Human Training, big fans of book groups because reading fiction can train your emotional intelligence, and talking about it in groups just reinforces all that work. It's a real win-win kind of situation. At some point, though, you'll need to look at the highest levels of your organization and ask hard questions about whether you're creating a fear-based or human-based culture. Leadership is the soil of community culture. You're either growing a healthy organization or you're starving it. So becoming more human won't be easy, but Brené Brown's big message is that this work requires more courage than the old agro model. In other words, it's a virtue, not a bug. Stay human, y'all.